Good morning. It is so good to be here with you all. My name is Matthew Markette. I was born and raised in this church. Some of you may know I recently started a new job in Houston. However, when Father Joe called upon me to come back and speak about my experience growing up in Christ Church, it was a no-brainer to make the time and the drive and share my testimony of what that looked like and where it's led me today. I can vividly remember so many great experiences growing up in this church through the children and youth ministry. From a young age, I can remember being taught leadership through acolyting in the children's chapel. Summers spent at VBS learning on blankets on the lawn just outside. To a strong church family always welcoming me with a smile during the awkward years of middle and high school. Finally, culminating in being able to walk the Camino de Santiago in Spain with a group from the church this past summer. When first asked about what my experience growing up in this church was like, the answer came into my head immediately. I can summarize it in one word: stability. There is such beauty in growing up in an environment where you know that no matter what happens during the week, there is a steadfast place that is there throughout the highs and lows that will be there to support me in my walk with Christ and in life. Two things that I believe are one and the same. I especially remember the people along the way who played such pivotal roles in my faith journey at a young age. Helita Heinrich, who made a relationship with Jesus feel so accessible and simple. Stephen Archer, who used to always say, when in doubt, the answer is always Jesus. Susan Lindstrom, whose persistence and strength led me to take on a pilgrimage on the other side of the world this year. And of course, Patrick Gahan. In a world with such confusing messaging and signaling at around every turn, the lessons learned from individuals such as them have continually stuck with me. Or I remember a lesson learned early on in Sunday school when we learned about how our faith is like a mustard seed out of the book of Matthew. I can remember being on the third floor of the FMC and being enamored by seeing an actual mustard seed. It felt like a relic from the ancient world. But the message behind it was abundantly clear, both now and then. It is memories like these that help Bible stories to feel real and stick with me. Something else I think about is the lifelong friendships that I have made in this church and the importance of Christian friendship through changing seasons of life. The evidence of this friendship was abundantly clear on the Camino. Getting to share an experience like that across the world with such familiar faces made it that much more rewarding. The Duggins, the Flannerys, the Sawyers, and of course, my sister, Natalie. Friendships born in this church and only made stronger by such an experience. When I moved away from home for the first time and shipped up to College Station for school, for the first time in my life, I had to find a new place to worship on Sunday mornings. I learned a couple of things very quickly in that experience. One, there is simply no place like Christ Church. And secondly, that despite being removed from my comfort zone, my faith never once wavered. It was, is, and always will be the most important value that I hold in my life. The foundation that I was able to build here growing up has completely set me up for success wherever I go on this journey of life. Despite that, being a normal college kid, I can't say that it was always easy to get out of bed on Sunday morning, but something that my dad told me around the time that I started college has resonated with me ever since. Some Sunday mornings, if nothing else, I go to church to say one part of the post-communion prayer. Father, send us out to do the work you have given us to do. This has become an essential element of my faith journey because I've learned Christ has called me into something bigger than myself, to follow him and serve his kingdom. I now incorporate this prayer into my daily prayers and make it a goal to be a light and servant of God's kingdom. That would not be possible without the security and confidence that I have in my faith as a result of growing up right here. From learning the gospel for the first time in the children's ministry, working my way up through the youth and college ministry to where I am now, the foundation that was laid is absolutely essential to me being able to live out those words. Father, send us out to do the work you have given us to do. During this stewardship season, Father Joe has us thinking about the legacy of righteousness from Psalm 112. Blessed are those who fear the Lord, who find great delight in his commands. Their children will be mighty in the land. The generation of the upright will be blessed. Those who are generous and lend freely, who conduct their affairs with justice. I am the beneficiary of being raised among such faithful Christians in a beautiful community of faith. My prayer today is that you continue to support the work that this church does through the children's and youth ministry. For the result of the work is the gift that keeps on giving eternally.